Today, our session is on pursuit of purpose. Today's session is on pursuit of purpose. So your purpose is something that was formed and fashioned into you before you were born. Your purpose is something that was formed and fashioned into you before you were born. All of creation forms itself around its purpose. Okay? Everything, if left alone without evil or negative influences, would automatically operate in its God-given purpose. Okay? Why? Because there's nothing to interfere with it. There's nothing to tell it that it isn't what it is. There's nothing to make it think that it's something else. There's nothing to convince it or distract it from moving and growing into its purpose. There's nothing to minimize it or tell it that it will fail at what it was created to do. That's why, right? Your purpose cannot be discovered while hiding, avoiding, or not accepting who you are. Your purpose cannot be discovered while you're hiding, while you're avoiding, and while you're not accepting who you are. If you have yet to discover who you are, you would never know what you were made for. You would never know why God created you. Okay? So think about a tree. You can tell a tree to stop growing. You can tell a tree it's not a tree. You can tell it that it's not going to create clean oxygen. It's going to mess up the earth and create some twisted form of oxygen, right? You can show that tree pictures of other trees that didn't live. And what is that tree going to do? That tree is still going to grow and create oxygen, right? As long as something with a greater influence that's in its atmosphere doesn't physically cut it down or cause disease to it or do something to make its atmosphere unstable, that tree will fulfill its purpose. Now, if the trees had eyes and ears, then maybe what you told it would affect it, right? And so I say that to say that the first step to pursuing your purpose is to simply make yourself available to be and return to your authentic self. The first step in pursuing your purpose is making yourself available to return and to be your authentic self. It's not hidden out there, right? It's hidden in you. Okay. You were fashioned around your purpose. Okay. Your experiences and influence, they become louder, they become brighter and more relevant than you, right? It has created an atmosphere where you see everything else except yourself, where you see everybody else except yourself. But if you take out every influence, if you really just sit down with you, okay, if you remove every experience that you've had out of your mind and think back as far as you can, if you simplify your life down to only you, bare, exposed, without having to answer to anybody, without having to please anybody, what is left? Who are you? When you get all the way back down to that point, from that point, you start taking steps forward, right? Because that's the only way that you will begin to operate in your originally designed purpose, okay? And oftentimes you don't get point by point directions. You get more of like a step by step process. As you take one step, then you'll learn the next step. You may get a vision of your future, but very seldom do you get all the steps on the way to your vision, right? So how many of us has failed to pursue our purpose because we wanted to know the next 5 steps before we took that one, right? How many of us have failed to pursue our purpose because of that? We wanted to know how it was going to work before we worked it, even though we had everything in us already to work it. So the hows and the whys will stop you quicker than somebody telling you no. The hows and the whys will stop you more than not having the resources. The hows and the why. How is this going to be? Why is this happening? Those things, they feed that fear of failure. They will stop you quicker than somebody telling you no because you're trying to figure out how and why, right? When you decide to truly pursue your purpose, you are deciding to take steps in spite of uncertainty, in spite of opposition, in spite of fear, in spite of not knowing what will be waiting on the other side, right? It's like walking out of prison. You're free to go, but you have no clue what's on the other side of those gates. But if you don't move forward, if you don't take the steps, you stay in prison. You stay bound to a dream or a vision that never progressed beyond that, right? It never takes a step out of your mind. It's locked in your mind. Great ideas, ingenious plans, things that will change your world. They are locked in your head, all because you never allowed them to walk out. Okay? Every decision you make is a step. Every day, when you decide to get out of bed to do something towards your purpose, towards being your authentic self, you are in pursuit of your purpose. Okay? So that first step was the possibility. It was the availability that you created in order to become who you are. Okay? So make yourself available for you to show up as your authentic self. Okay? You have to create that availability first before you begin to pursue your purpose. The second step, position yourself for purpose. Okay? You got to be like the tree. There's a certain atmosphere that the tree needs to grow without restraint, right? So you need to find out what is in your atmosphere. What is around you that will limit your growth? Is it the type of people that you're around, the type of people you listen to? Is it the type of music you listen to? Is it the type of movies you watch? What are the toxins that you are allowing in your thoughts, in your feelings, in your emotions that poison you? Check your atmosphere, right? What you do and even what you don't do influences your position. Okay? Offense. Offense distracts you from positioning yourself. Do not put offense in the position where your vision should be. Don't accept it, right? Because those offenses keep you looking behind you or beneath you. When you are offended, the offense is now put in position to repel any of your destiny helpers, and they block the pursuit of your purpose because you're so busy looking down or looking back. Okay? Do not put offense in the place where your vision should be, right? Everything you needed was put in position for you to fulfill your purpose, including you. You were born in position. Okay? Everything else God created does what it was created to do. It is only us humans who are supposed to be the superior life form. We're the ones that allow life, we allow people, emotion, jobs, everything else in this world to get us out of position. But we're supposed to be the superior life form, right? Are we? So don't compromise your position for those same old routines, for those habits, those customs, those patterns, those mannerisms, and those styles that keep you stuck right where you are. Okay? They have put you in a position to be subjected to oppression. Okay? To oppress. To oppress means to crush, to make low by pressing, or by applying some form of pressure. To oppress means to crush, to make low by pressing, by applying some form of pressure. Oppression is the perversion of justice and righteousness. Okay? It is a distortion of what God's original intent is. That's what oppression is. Okay? Oppression brings about affliction, which means it causes you to suffer mentally, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually. Okay? Oppression is a tool that is used to wear somebody down mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, right? It cannot outsmart or outpower any move towards your purpose. So it tries to break your endurance and eliminate you being steadfast, you being focused on something, right? Oppression wears you down by restricting your focus. It limits your sight so that you only focus on the hardships, right? You only focus on the failures. You only focus on the time that you wasted, right? Or the time you have left. This is what oppression does. When you uplift your hardships or your failures higher than yourself and your purpose, it creates a door to bring your mind into captivity. Okay? So when you you're elevating these things above your God-given purpose. You're elevating your failures. You're putting this in the front of your head every single day. You're not putting the vision or the purpose in front of your eyes. You're putting the oppressive things in front of your eyes every single day. Well, guess what direction you're going to be going? The direction that you're looking, right? So the next thing you want to do once you have positioned yourself is you want to plan for your purpose. You want to plan for your purpose. And so I'm going to tell you what's going to come against you when you begin to plan for your purpose. There are laws of destruction. And whoever's writing, you can write this down. There are laws of destruction that destroys your plan to prosper in your purpose. Destruction is described as an injury, a breach, or any area that has been broken or cut off from its original intended state. That's what destruction is. So I'm going to talk about 5 things in this law of destruction that will halt and destroy any plan towards your purpose. So these 5 things are delay, distance, distraction, deception, and discouragement. There is a law of destruction, and here are 5 things that you need to break. It's delay, distance, distraction, deception, and discouragement. So delay is you're always late for where you're supposed to be. If you still haven't wrote the vision, the purpose, or the plan, then your appointed time will be delayed. You cannot run with something you have not written down yet. Delay means that you're always late for where you're supposed to be. If you keep showing up and oh man, you just missed the CEO. You just missed the president because you're always late for where your destiny was supposed to be, right? CP time is a curse. Okay, it's not funny anymore. It makes us late for our destiny. Okay, distance. Failing to know your purpose creates distance from you getting to that purpose, right? So you have to shorten that distance between you and your vision. Allowing the wrong people in your life will increase that distance between you and fulfilling your goals. Distance is a law of destruction, right? Distractions. Distractions are sent to occupy your time and take up mental space that should free you from trouble, right? It's going to take up space. It's going to steal your peace so that it draws you away from what you're supposed to be thinking, and it draws you away from what you're supposed to be doing. It's going to take up all the space up in here, right? The distractions can even be morally good things, right? But it's still not purposeful. It's not leading you towards your purpose. And we have to be careful about those distractions, right? Deception. Deception is when you're led into error. Deception is when you are led into error. You are presented with an unvalidated, untrue feeling or idea as facts, right? It's the failure to recognize reality. This is deception. Okay, believing the wrong thing, believing the wrong people. Deception is when you are being led into error. That is a law of destruction that will destroy you. Okay, and then the last one, discouragement. Discouragement. Discouragement steals your hope when you do the right thing but see no result. Discouragement steals your hope when you are doing all of the right things but see no result. It will frustrate you, it will blind you, and it will hinder forward movement. Discouragement can even lead you to depression. Okay, so in order to plan for your purpose, you must do the complete opposite of those 5 things, right? That means instead of delay, be on time. Instead of distance, stay close. Okay, instead of being distracted, stay focused. Instead of deception, get the facts and stand on the truth. Instead of discouragement, be enthusiastic, be optimistic. Okay, don't become hopeless. That is the law of destruction. It will destroy you. Okay, So once you break those laws of destruction, you can effectively plan for your purpose. Okay. And once you begin to operate in that planning for your purpose, you will begin advancing in your purpose. Okay. The next level is calling you. There's breakthrough at every level, there's deliverance at every level, there's newness of life, there's wisdom, there's favor, but there also must be obedience, surrender, and steadfastness on your part. Okay. You must begin to be faithful to your original self. You have to break up with all those other versions of you that you created for other people, those other versions of you that you created to manipulate your way through life, to avoid being hurt, all of those other versions of you, right? You cannot operate in your purpose effectively as somebody else. It's not going to work. Okay. Sometimes the reward for your faithfulness feels like punishment, right? You've been faithful, you're doing all the right things. Sometimes that can feel like punishment, but in reality, it is God repositioning you so that you are where He wanted you to be instead of where you thought you should be. Okay. Sometimes we just going in a direction thinking it's the right direction, but it's not. So that faithfulness might feel like a punishment, but really it's God putting you in position to where He created you to be. Okay. The next level of your purpose isn't just what it's always been. It's not in what was always said, right? When you begin to operate in your purpose, that comes in power. Okay. It works toward you. It's not a place outside of your reach. The next level operates from within you out. Okay. It calls you, it pulls you to it because the work of God was already working before you were formed, right? You just fit right in and you begin to start working. Okay. That pull commands everything to get in position for your arrival at His doors, right? But it doesn't have the power to make you go through the door. Okay. Your obedience, especially in adversity, brings you to the other side. Okay. When you get to the next level, release becomes automatic. The release of everything that is meant to assist you in this level to be the best version of yourself. Okay. The things that plagued you in the previous season, they won't hold weight on this level because you're coming in power, right? You're in pursuit of your purpose. You are advancing in your purpose. Okay. You'll blink and whatever was bothering you can't handle it on this level, right? Because the power that it had cannot come against the fullness of your pursuit of what you were created to be. Okay. Doors are always being opened for you and through you. Doors are always being opened for you and through you. Good or bad, you decide. Okay. A door is a way to separate or transition from one position or one state of mind to another. Okay. The door is a way to separate or transition from one position or one state of mind to another. The door is an entrance, it's an opening, but it is also an exit. Okay. A door takes you from outside to inside, from stranger to family. The door takes you from being unknown to well known, right? From being far to being near. When a door is opened, a barrier or a portal is unblocked. It has granted you access, or something has been granted access to you, right? Your heart is a door. Your eyes is a door. Your mouth, your ears, your mind, these are doors. Okay. And whatever you allow through those doors can change your position and affect your purpose. Okay. Are you in the same position you were in 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Will you be in the same position that you're in now in 2044? How can you change that? Knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently? Write it down. Write down whatever you would have done differently, knowing what you know now. Now, what I want you to do for the next 7 days is do whatever you just wrote. No questions, no excuses, no hows, no whys. For the next 7 days, think about what you would have done differently that has prevented you or will cause you to not be in the same position that you were in 10 years ago if you're in the same position now. What could you have done differently? So when we come back next Friday, there should have been movement, okay? Forward movement towards your purpose, right? So you can end that relationship you've had with regret. I want you to sign them divorce papers, okay? Because really, you're married to those choices that you didn't make before. Instead of leaving that place, instead of making a different choice, right? So you've been friends with shoulda, woulda, coulda. You've been married to regret, okay? You got 7 days to get rid of them. Do what you didn't do before. Stop regretting it. Stop doing the shoulda, woulda, couldas, okay? Regret will literally keep you in the same mindset, the same position, the same spiritual atmosphere with nothing changing but your age, okay? This year, we're going to do more than just get older, okay? We will live on purpose, in purpose, okay? We're not just going to get another year older. We're going to work and pursue our purpose, what we were born to do, okay? When you know that you have been appointed by God in a particular season for a particular reason, you must align yourself with Him so that the order that has gone out is protected. Alignment is your position of agreement with heaven. Alignment is not subjecting yourself to ignorance, which is lacking knowledge, right? That's not what alignment is, okay? We align ourselves with so many things that goes against our purpose, that's going against who we are trying to become, okay? Ignorance is self-sabotage. Choosing not to put yourself in a position to be taught, that's self-sabotage, okay? Overreacting and creating overwhelming situations so that you appear too busy to learn, that is self-sabotage, okay? You cannot give up until your purpose is fulfilled, okay? You cannot surrender your strength, your passions, your gifts, and your ideas. You cannot surrender them to the grave. You cannot deliver your purpose over to evil people. Stop putting your purpose in incapable hands, giving away your gifts, your talents, your ideas, your businesses, your ministry, right? Stop doing that. It's your purpose for you to do, for you to fulfill. It's what you were created to do, okay? So if you are in pursuit of your purpose, create the availability to be your authentic self. Okay, make space for that, number one. Position yourself and the atmosphere around you for your purpose. Position yourself and the atmosphere around you for your purpose. Plan for your purpose. Positioning is not the same as planning, okay? Positioning is arranging yourself in a particular way or in a particular place, okay? Position is the place, but planning is the process. You understand? Position is the place, but planning is the process, okay? Then after that, you advance in your purpose. That means movement. That means not just talking about it. Sometimes we get stuck just telling people the vision and we refuse to write it down. We refuse to take steps toward that. Okay? Advancing in your purpose is movement, forward movement. Every day, every single day. It isn't mental, because if you make it mental, then something else going on in your mind will make you stop. It's not emotional, because when you're emotional about something, you'll stop. It must be you. You must become what you were created to do. Your purpose is what you were created to do. It is already in you. So I want to tell you to pursue your purpose, okay? Pursue your purpose. And we are going to end with this new statement. This feeling is temporary. It is just a process. Face your disappointments in yourself and your disappointments in others, okay? Some stuff is your fault. It's decisions that you made. It was a bad decision, but you can make a better decision. You can change the outcome. Your life is more than the sum of your hard experiences. Your life is more than the sum of your pain and the sum of your failures. You can still climb that mountain or command it to move. You will live again. Your happiness is not determined by what is happening now. It is determined by what will happen later, what you choose to happen later, okay? What you do with this moment is imperative to you understanding why you needed to go through it, why it had to happen to you, okay? And after that, you will see that it happened for you. So go and pursue your purpose. Be God's created version of you. Okay, that is our time. Be blessed in 7 days. Remember, no regret, no shoulda, woulda, coulda. Write down what you would have done differently and do it for the next 7 days. Everyone be blessed.